Good evening and welcome to another edition of Puck Force. I'm your host, Tyler Warfett, and with me as always, Mr. Steven Sahoyas. Steven, we have quite the show in store for us tonight, don't we?
Yeah, a lot of action happening around the hockey world. I can't wait to get to it.
Well, let's start it right off by taking a look at the Ryerson Rams men's varsity hockey team taking on the Laurier Golden Hawks. Both teams are off to a 3-1 start coming into tonight's game, and forward Matt Mistilli is looking to continue his 4-game point streak. Let's take a look early in the first as Matt Mistilli does capitalize, scoring in close, putting the Rams up by 1 within 10 minutes into the game. However, that does not last long as Trevor Sauter scores in less than 4 minutes later, tying the game up by 1 for the Laurier Golden Hawks. We're going to skip all the way to the third now, where Kevin Leth snaps one past Furlong in tight, tying the game up at 3. Dying seconds of overtime now with Laurier going for a final push, but Taylor Dupuis makes a desperation save, keeping Ryerson alive in the game. It's the shootout now, and John Carpino gives a little flick of the wrist, beating Furlong, putting the Rams ahead. However, it's once again Mistilli with a lightning wrist shot that gives the Rams the 4-3 shootout win. This now puts the Rams as a 5-2-0 record on the season. Matt Mistilli continued his point streak, and Taylor Dupuis had quite the game, stopping 43 of 46 shots to give himself a .935 save percentage in the game. That is quite impressive no matter which way you look at it, Steven.
A great effort by the men's hockey team, and in women's hockey, the Rams also battled the Golden Hawks. Ryerson was looking to keep their undefeated record alive as they brought their 2-0 record into this one. Puck dropped to get this one started. It was the Rams getting the first good chance. Giardetti would throw it out front for Carly Nubakoski. She scores! Not so fast, Numi. The referee with an emphatic no-goal call on that one, as you see off the skate of Nubakoski. Fast forward to overtime now. Woodhouse with a big shot from the point. That one's knocked aside by Otier, and she also got a hold of the rebound as well. With the woman advantage now, Laurier looking to put it away in overtime. Otier in the dying seconds makes the stop, and this one would head to the shootout. Ailish Forfar comes right down Main Street, little dipsy doodle, but Hannah Miller able to make the stop. Rebecca Hall now for the Golden Hawks. Not today, says Otier, keeps this one alive. And Brooklyn Gemmel now, right down Main Street. Little bingo bango, and there you have it. That one would be the winner as Emily Visser would miss on her next shot. And the Ryerson Rams kept their undefeated record alive, beating the Laurier Golden Hawks 1-0 in the shootout. In the OUA standings for the women, Ryerson sits 5th with 11 points behind the Toronto Varsity Blues in 4th who have 12, and the aforementioned Laurier Golden Hawks, who are in the East, are not obviously in the West, but the Brock Badgers with 12 and the Western Mustangs with 12, all within range of the Ryerson Rams, who sit only 1 point behind those opponents as well.
Looking at the men's conference now in the rest, Ryerson is sitting in 3rd in the conference with only 1 point behind Laurier and a game still in hand. The York Lions are 7-1 on the season, giving them first place, while the Toronto Varsity Blues have lost 5 straight, putting them in last place in the conference. Let's take a look over to the NHL now at some of the impressive and horrendous starts that some teams have had so far, or as we like to call it, the good, the bad, and the Canadians. The Vegas Golden Knights continue their historical inaugural season, starting off with an 8-2 record. They sit at 4th in the league with 2 games in hand, and they also have the second highest win percentage of .800. This team is full of exciting surprises. As soon as Marc-Andre Fleury and Malcolm Subban got injured, many people thought it was the beginning of the end for this team. However, Oscar Dansk, Vegas' 3rd goalie, begged to differ. 3 games played, 1 shutout, a .957 GGA. He can Dansk if he wants to, and that's certainly what he has done so far. Fun fact, it took the Golden Knights only 9 games to win the same amount that it took the Washington Capitals all season to win in their inaugural season. Watch out, NHL. This team is for real.
After making quite an impressive playoff run last season, the New York Rangers have started off the year 4-7-2. Their issue? Defense and goaltending. King Henrik has been anything but royal, as the Rangers netminder has allowed 26 goals so far this season, which has him at 7th most in that category. If you're a fan of old monarchies, the New York Rangers might be the team you want to root for. They have not looked like their old selves to start this season.
Speaking of goaltenders performing below expectations, Carey Price has been one of the worst goalies in the NHL to start this season. Price has allowed 3 goals or more in 7 of his 10 starts this season. Couple that with the fact that Montreal's offense has been as solid as a 4-week-old banana, and you get a real ugly situation in the La Belle province.
Yeah, it's been a mess in Montreal. Fans have been leaving the game early, but we challenge you not to leave this show early because you're going to want to stay tuned, because coming up next, we're going to have a special feature about Corey Chevry. And later in the show, we'll also be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, which are a hot subject around these parts. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Puck Force. And when Old Maple Leafs Gardens was brought to demolition in 1999, a lot of the history from the building was brought to life in New Maple Leaf Gardens, the Mattamy Athletic Center. While it is important to look back, we must not miss the history which is being made right in front of us all with Corey Chevry.
Old Maple Leaf Gardens, a place rich and vibrant with history. Since its demolition and the construction of New Maple Leaf Gardens, the Mattamy Athletic Center, their tradition of history making has carried over. From the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Ryerson Rams. Meet men's assistant hockey coach Corey Chevry. After an illustrious playing career, Chevry became the first ever full-time female coach in men's youth sports.
Being able to play in the CWHL for 6 years, it was something that I always dreamed of growing up. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. to watch the final game on TV and said to my mom, you know, I'm going to play in that game one day, and I got to, and obviously winning the Clarkson Cup was something I'll always remember. It was amazing.
It was through her playing career that she found out about the opening at Ryerson University.
I was at a rink and I ran into a ref from the CWHL, and she said, hey, I work for Ryerson, why don't you come in on Monday, and you know, maybe you can start working here part-time. That was Vanessa Stratton. And I came in, I think it was September 26th, 2013, and I've been working here ever since.
One person who had a lot of faith in Chevry's ability was newly named head coach Johnny Duco.
She had mentioned to me that she would be interested in helping out with the team in any capacity, whether it was doing some scouting or helping out in practice or getting involved as a coach. So once Graham Wise had announced his retirement and I was named interim head coach, took her out for breakfast and we had a little bit of a discussion on, you know, what her potential roles may be with the team if we were to bring her on. And I was really impressed with, you know, some of the areas and her expertise and what she could add value to within our program. So, you know, at that point we decided to bring her on as our new assistant coach. And that's kind of how that relationship formed, and you know, now we're at where we are today.
That decision turned out to be a great one, as Chevry has had a positive impact on the team.
So her attitude coming into the rink every single day really helps us as a team. And we build off that, like I said, you know, doing the skills. Like, she's very supportive in that aspect of wanting us to get better individually, and she's very supportive off the ice with our classes, and you know, always wanting us to strive to get better grades. So her positive attitude just really helps us as a team.
While Chevry still has lots to learn at Ryerson, she's very excited for what the future holds.
I think that I still have tons to learn. Johnny Duco and Nathaniel Brooks, the other coaches of the team, have been great in guiding me and helping me learn this side of the game. It's a little bit different from the female side, but it's a great challenge. And you know, I'd love to be a head coach on the men's or the women's side. I'd love to be a part of Team Canada one day, coaching the national senior team. I'd love to coach in the OHL or the NHL. I'm just trying to keep all my doors open right now, and I think being in this position is helping me do that, and I'm just really excited to be at Ryerson.
While Old Maple Leafs Gardens has been the home for many great moments, legends, and the greatest, New Maple Leaf Gardens in just its 5th year may be getting its first with Corey Chevry.
What an inspiration Corey Chevry is. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we will be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens, and Sasquatch? Don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
Two schools, one city, the York Lions. Welcome back to Puck Force. Steven Sahoy is joined alongside Tyler Warfett. And as we promised, we're going to get to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been a hot topic. After starting the season 7-2, Toronto has fallen to 9-7, losing 5 of their last 7 games. Tyler, what is wrong with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now?
Well, Steven, I have to say the biggest issue with the Toronto Maple Leafs is the fact that they've been figured out. Earlier in the season, when the Leafs were scoring 5-6 goals a game, other teams just didn't know how to handle their offensive prowess. But as the season went on, the Leafs got figured out, and now the teams that were getting burned are burning the Leafs and destroying their Achilles heels.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about the Toronto Maple Leafs is the front of the net. They're not clearing out players in front of the net, and that is killing Toronto. So many screens in front of the net. I know we want to blame Freddie Anderson, but it's no coincidence that the defense has been so awful and he's having a career worst year this season. But on a lighter note, let's get into some puck jokes.
It's time for puck jokes.
Besides both of us reigning from Barrie, Ontario and being facial hair icons, Brent Burns and I really don't have much in common. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing after watching this video. Strengthening up for the season, Burns is having a fun time doing it in a very unusual workout with our buddy Sasquatch. Although I think I might go grab some Jack Links. You know, good snack, keeps the carbs away. Good idea after the show.
Now, after getting over 500,000 followers on Instagram, the Montreal Canadian forward Paul Byron posted a little dance to celebrate. He definitely pulls out all the stops, showing off his crazy hands, the lawnmower, the side shuffle. And is that the can-can? Too bad the team can't pull out moves like that on the ice and win a game or two. But I'm sure he's very popular at the Montreal clubs with those dance moves.
If only I had moves like that. When Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster had his bike stolen, everyone joined hashtag Team Find Juju's Bike. When said bike was found, the internet had done its job and the world gained one more happy Juju. And who doesn't love a happy Juju?
Nothing's better than a happy Juju, Steven. And you can watch all these full videos and vote for your favorite on our website, or you can visit our Facebook and Twitter page to see all of our hilarious hockey content. Tune in tomorrow to see which video won. And
that's all the time we have on this edition of Puck Force. A lot of great stuff we talked about. Ryerson Rams, Corey Chevry, Montreal Canadiens. For Tyler Warfett and myself, we'll see you next time on Puck Force.